Hi, beautiful souls. So I decided to record an episode today from my car. I'm watching the beautiful sunset as I do this. So what we're going to actually talk about today is the fact that sometimes you will feel alone, no matter how many people are in your lives or how many people are not in your life. So I'm going to explain this a little bit more, and then I'm going to channel so that I can receive messages and you can too. What do I mean by this? So most of my life, I lived a life filled with humans, filled with my family members. And so I had a ton of friends in many parts of the world. I was the one who would come up with plans and go out and dance and party and have fun and have joy and music and gathering people, connecting people together. That's just what I loved and what I did naturally. I assumed it will always be like that. It was the same thing with my family. I was the connector. I was the one who would sit and listen to their issues and their problems and what they're going through and bring joy to the house and put music on and laugh a lot and just bring as much joy as I can to a home that really had no joy. So in time, I was just really busy with other human beings, just constantly busying myself with other human beings. I had no idea how I felt or what I wanted. All I knew is when I'm around people and they need me and want me, I feel really good about myself. Sorry, I've had a very strange cough. It's been really, really bizarre. 3 weeks now. So, saying all that, I wanted to express that there came a point in my life where the friends that I depended on or thought that they were there for me, because I never really expressed myself and never really understood what I was feeling. I was completely disassociated. When I needed them, when I desperately needed them, they were simply not there. And it felt like the same way with my family members. They were not there emotionally for me. Maybe they were there financially for me and physically, but emotionally and mentally and in a loving way, they were not there for me. So, and at some point, even when I did have that filled life with human beings everywhere, all the time, I still felt lonely inside. There was a hollow loneliness constantly inside. And it just didn't make any logical sense to me, because I was like, but there's so many people in my life. I had boyfriends, I had friends, I had family, I had aunts and uncles and grandparents and my own family members. It was just, I had a lot of people. We had outings and gatherings and summer family vacations and, family friends would join. But there was always this loneliness inside, this emptiness inside. So as I got older and life happened, of course, at the age of 28, I think, or 29, I got married to my first husband, and it was a malignant narcissist. And it was utter hell, because I didn't know it was possible for anyone to be that way. I didn't think anyone could be that cruel and mean to that degree. And all I wanted was to love and be loved and fall in love and all that fluffy stuff I was into. And that crushed me. And that's when I turned to my friends, and hardly any of them were there. That's when I turned to some family members, and emotionally and mentally they were not there. So it was a very hard time for me to come recognize that loneliness got even larger. But then in time, as I made new friends, tried to connect to my family in a different way, I had found my throat chakra, so I was enraged most of the time because I had been so abused. And if you want, I have a book called Happily Ever After. It is about my story. It is in a story form that it would really help you if you found yourself in those narcissistic relationship styles. Anyway, so in time, I made those friends, I made new friends and all that wonderful stuff. I got along with some members of the family. I was still trying to grab onto people because this is what felt comfortable. I was also known as an extrovert and a social butterfly, and I'm everywhere just laughing. And that wasn't me anymore. But I was still very, I still felt joyous somehow. But I didn't always disassociate with myself. I didn't understand the depth of my disassociation, meaning everyone else's emotions were more important than mine to me. Okay? So that loneliness still existed inside. So there's still that loneliness inside, that emptiness, that hollowness. So even with a few new friends and everything, that hollowness still existed. So whether I was totally alone, like I'd experienced, or with a bunch of people, that loneliness still lived inside. That loneliness of, I have to grab onto the world outside and the people outside for me to feel worthy, for me to feel something, right? Feel something other than this loneliness. So it was constant state of occupying self. Now, coming into the now, there's so much more peace internally with me. I'm not grabbing onto people. I miss certain people. There's issues still happening. Reminiscences of the past are showing up again because of the full moon and, of course, the solar eclipse that happened in April. Wounds are showing up, thinking that I worked through them. But that loneliness was the biggest demise. The worst part of it all was that state of loneliness. Anywho, to let you know that if you're going through any of this, you're not alone. We are all purging. Things are showing up. So I thought I worked on all this. It's still coming out. It's still showing up. The difference is that loneliness and hollowness inside has really, really subsided. And it's really subsided because I have come to terms with associating myself with myself. Now, I used all my NLP techniques, everything I know about spirituality. I sit, I channel through divinity so I can get more information for myself and for my clients and for my friends and for the people I love and my children. And within that, I found a kind of serenity internally. It's not still quite serene fully, but it's so much better. That large, empty, gaping hole has kind of been filled up a little bit with myself and has filled up with divinity, with God. Not religion God, God, the truth of God. And so as you keep filling yourself up with God and with yourself again, that empty, hollow feeling inside kind of starts to disappear. It stops being that obvious or clear because it's not as gapingly empty. And you become okay with, I am so okay with being single, with having a handful of friends that I, admire or look up to or trust. I trust myself with them. So, this camera's falling. Yeah. So, in general, I want you to know that it's not a lost cause. And if you are feeling disassociated from yourself, or you can't really tap into how you're feeling, and you're very inclined to feeling with others, you're an empath, of course, but a disempowered empath, okay? So what you need to do is try to figure out what your feelings are. So you're with somebody and now they're angry. As you're feeling their anger and trying to make them feel better, stop. Just stop yourself in that instant, because it's a pattern, right? And you want to know how it makes you feel to be around somebody angry. You want to switch it around. You want to figure, how am I feeling in the presence of somebody angry? But because you've never asked yourself that question, you are not going to have ever been able to know how you're feeling in the presence of these other people's emotions. So let's say it is anger. How am I feeling around this person? Now you're not invested in them anymore to calm their anger down, to walk on eggshells, to figure it out. You're like, how am I feeling right at this moment? I'm scared. I feel like I don't matter. I feel irrelevant. I feel unseen and unheard. I feel like it's my fault. I feel guilty. Like, start to recognize those feelings inside of you. And this is where you're going to associate with yourself again, because you're associating with you instead of with others and trying to fix others. So now you've reassociated with you. You're like, this is how I feel. Now what happens? You take care of this. You take care of your person. You are the person. So you start to say, oh my God, I'll say it to myself, and you can repeat this for you. Rain, I know you're feeling so guilty. That's okay. I love you anyway. I know you're feeling ashamed of yourself. That's okay. I love you anyway. Rain, I love you no matter what. Oh, you're scared right now. I'm here for you. I'm with you. What are you doing? You're reassociating yourself with yourself. Now, trust me when I tell you, I've been working on this for over 18 years now with clients, working through stuff on my own and with myself. And I'm telling you, reassociating with yourself is key to your personal freedom. Why? Because that lonely emptiness you might be feeling inside of you feels that way simply because you are really not there, right? That hollow, I'm alone feeling is you are alone. And it's not because you've accumulated a million friends around you or you have no one around you. It's because you are missing. You are missing you, my love. You are missing you, my love. So help yourself through this time. This is just a glimpse of it. Okay, in another video, I'll explain how to reassociate yourself with divinity in a new way. But just work on this little point. You experience somebody's emotions. Instead of rushing as an empath to help their emotions, you self-reflect and ask, how does them having that emotion make you feel? And you come back home to yourself. And the more and more you start to do that, the more you keep filling up that gap and it shrinks down, because the you that you've been looking for, the void, the need to fill up that void that you thought was going to come from every other human being, a partner, a parent, a friend, whatever, is actually you that you've been missing all along. So that was the channeling. Actually, it just came. It always comes spontaneously, and I love it because I've never heard it that way before. And so I hope this is helpful for you. Please don't forget to subscribe. I'd love to see more people subscribing, just so I know that what I'm saying resonates, and press like. Oh, it feels really good to know that people liked what I channeled and expressed. And at the same time, leave your comments below. Does it make sense to you? Have you felt that hollowness and that emptiness, no matter what you've tried to do in your life, where you've tried to get rid of it and you just didn't know how to get rid of it? And if you have tried this technique out, please leave in the comments, how does it feel for you? And if you have any questions, of course, ask them away. I'd love to make videos for them. At the same time, if you are having a difficult time going through this on your own and understanding it, and you want to go into depth about your specific story where I can be of service to you, please reach out. I give one-on-one sessions, private sessions, and you'll not need more than 3 or 4 private sessions at most until you start feeling amazing about yourself. I'm able to channel for you to feel your energy. I'm a reflector in human design, and so I start to reflect your energy and I start to receive messages for your specific soul from divinity, and I give them to you and I help you clear out what needs to be cleared out. Love you. Take care of yourself. Bye.